do some weekly awards.
Let's do it, Jim.
Gablett Areas, best on ground of the week. For me, that was Maximus Holmesicus. Max Holmes was awesome. He was so good in that game. Like, if you want to look at that exact moment where the North, basically, he Carly marred North a little bit. Because like there was just 2 or 3 different possessions where he's just suddenly streaming down a wing. He's gotten it like at halfback. He's gotten it back. He's pumping it forward. Yep. Someone else has gotten a halfback. He's out on a wing, putting it forward. You're like, Jesus, Max Holmes.
Yeah,
and
he was everywhere.
It was just one after the other. And you're like, God damn. Like you don't often sort of see that sort of performance from, you know, especially in that sort of style. Like it was a very strong one, but he just sort of grabbed the game, like not in the guts of it or anything particularly. Yeah. It was just like his influence was everywhere. So that was awesome. And yeah, I enjoyed it immensely. I'm just sort of sitting there in the pub watching this, just going, that's not unreal. He's crushing it. Obviously, Malcolm Roses, because 7 goals, he's pretty high off his head. So that was unreal. How about you, Jez?
Oh, I'm going to go for your boy, Johnny Noble. He was, I think he had 36 in the goal. And he was like watching the game. He was everywhere. I thought he was pretty good. Underrated, I think. So like they didn't speak enough about him, but he did a lot. He just seemed to be in every chain of possession, and yeah, really big driving factor towards the Suns. And I think the Suns played themselves into a little bit of form there. So yeah, Johnny Noble.
He's unreal. He is like an absolute weapon. He's got the hair. He's great. Underrated. Just sort of does everything and does it really well. Like there's like a level of class that you get with him that just sort of, you know, one of those, you know, rising tides floats all boats kind of stuff. So, yeah.
And I like the way he took his exit from Collingwood and missing out on the grand final. And he just, you know, when that happens to people, you can go one of 2 ways. You can either have a big sook about it and get your dad to write an article in the paper and stuff like that. Or you can go, all right, I'm never going to let that happen again. And he did that, knuckled down, and he's just so much better player. He's fitter. He's such an asset, and he's one of the better players in the comp now for sure. Definitely taking the positive route from Collingwood, which is good to see.
Speaking of which, another honourable mention. I thought Ginnivan was awesome the other day.
Yeah, I think he's having a great season. Really good season.
And I mean, I think I said this like maybe a week or 2 ago, but he's exactly what Collingwood need, ironically. It's like they don't have that guy.
They'd be pretty happy with a John Noble right now too, wouldn't they? And a few others maybe that.
Anyway, what are you going to do? Who are you going to buy a beer this week? I am going to buy Dylan Moore a tin, because kicking that goal, even if you're right in front of that many people just to tie the game, just the stones. The
only thing is if you buy him a beer, you have to be prepared to get on a scissor lift with him later in the night.
Yeah. And we're not going to talk about...
Are you licensed to drive one of them, Jim?
They dropped those charges. There was nothing else there. I mean, nothing to see here. Move along.
Sorry.
And obviously, Braden Cook, though I don't feel like I'll need to buy him a beer, there'll be plenty of Crom fans buying it.
He'll be buying a beer for a long, long time, that young man.
That's very sick. How about you there, Jez?
I'm going to buy Adam Uze a beer because he has had it rough in his first couple of years of coaching, and I think a win like that away from home, as we mentioned in the game wrap, will do wonders for his young group, and I reckon he would be sitting there on the plane, probably not having to buy too many beers when he gets back from some of the Richmond faithful, but I'd happily buy him a beer at the moment. I think he's doing a good job in a really tough situation. He's got a lot of kids there, and they're going to be like very similar to how I feel Essendon go. I'm not sure if Brad Scott's doing as good a job. I'm a little bit on the fence there, but I think Adam Uze's got him going in the right direction. And whenever you see him on the sidelines and stuff, you like the way it looks like he's approaching his team. So cheers, Adam.
Yeah, it's a hard gig, I think, with the rebuilds and how long they take in the AFL. But then you sort of watch someone like Hawthorn and where they were in a bit of their rebuild and how quickly they turned it around. You're like, oh, God damn it, Hawthorn. Anyway, the Ben Mackay Memorial Spud of the week. Darcy Moore. That was there's like three things that he gave away, another free before the disastrous one late, right? And so there was one that he gave away on the wing. We're like, what the hell was that? And then they drops the mark where he runs into Maynard, just spills it. And it's over. And then the high tackle that gives away the free. And you're like,
What's going on here, bud? Yeah. Very
like
un-premiership captain like.
It looks like a guy hasn't played that much footy lately, kind of vibes, right? So, bit Spud worthy. And Sam Cumming, this is just an honorable mention, funny one where he booted it the wrong way for 50 metres. So that was a bit rough.
We've all done that at some point.
100%.
It's like the old shooting the hoop in the wrong end when you're playing junior basketball. We all did that.
Oh, no, the other way, the other way.
Oh, you scored, you idiot.
All right, who's your Spud, Jez?
So I've got Todd Marshall from Port Adelaide. I think to half time he hadn't actually touched the ball, and he ended up with 7 disposals. But I think it's a bit harsh because he's been sort of in and out with injury, but he's also a senior player. So I think if you're gonna go a whole half of football without touching it, and don't fact check me on that because he might have had 1 or 2, but I'm going with none. All right,
this makes a better story.
If you got a problem, send me a nah.
I think Todd Marshall's as a proud Todd Marshall owner and super coach, that was a kick in the guts on my rage trade straight away. He's out. I'm done. I can't deal with this. Yeah. And finally,
sorry, go.
That's all right. Better than Bootsma is the other one, and that's it. William Dersma. His goal was off its head. I enjoyed it immensely. His it was right at the end of the game. It's like getting a little bit chaotic. They're trying to like just not absolutely bottle it. They still bottle it, but he's really good. And I feel like West Coast, it's just a weird one that they lose that game. And you felt like they had like a little bit of momentum early parts of this season. And then, to lose to Richmond at home is a bit, how you going? So, but anyway, William Dersma, pretty good.
Yep. I've gone with, we mentioned him before, Braden Cook. For the same reason, the goal was just unreal. But he also played a really good game. And he's played a few good games as a youngster, but he still had 20-odd touches and kicked the match-winning goal. So I'm going with young Braden Cook. Don't have to worry about buying him a beer because he's better than Bootsma.
He is. He's pretty bloody good. I'll tell you. Is right. As I said at the top,
the big hitting ones.
Draws, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
What's wrong with it?
I don't care. It's fine. People who get
it's a unique thing that we have in our game. You don't have a draw in. Well, you have draws in cricket, but that's a different sport altogether. But you don't have draws in rugby league. You don't have draws. Well, you have draws in soccer, and that's probably different again. I'm not really making this point very well. Just
I think
I'm leaving it at that. Yeah,
that's good. That's good. I think people get too bent out of shape about it are just weird.
We
need a result. It's like, it is a result. It's 2 points. You split the points.
One thing it does do is it creates intrigue in the ladder and the standings because you see, so often the percentage comes in, but then all of a sudden they've got a half game and they're, if they lose, they're out. If they win, they're up at 5th or something like that. And so I think it throws a really interesting spanner in the works later in the season, a draw. So I reckon keep them. They're great. Why not?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just fine. Like, it's awesome when it happens. Like, it's a unique proposition. So, yes, we don't need them in finals, so that's fine. So
I agree with that.
In the regular season, just finish it and just go home with 2 points. The gold number 10 for Pendles. You feeling all right about this one, Jez? Yeah, nah.
Yeah. I think if you're going to have it for Pendles, if somebody gets to that point again, then obviously you would assume, rightly so, that they would have that. But I mean, everyone will be saying, "Oh, it's Collingwood; they get whatever they want," which is pretty much true. I have no doubt that there's a lot of Eddie Maguire's hands all over this. So, but yeah, as long as it's done for the next person who gets to 409 million games, I'm happy enough with it. You?
I'm fine with it. I don't really care. I'm just like, yeah, sure. Yeah. It's all right. It's a bit
of
awesome.
fun.
Because I remember as a kid, like Michael Tuck's record seemed unbreakable, then Brent Harvey broke it. And now 10 years later, Pendles is
And that
breaking
seemed unbreakable. Yeah.
it. You're just like basically hitting this point where following NBA, LeBron, Tom Brady in the NFL, there's just like these extreme like outlier athletes who will just keep doing crazy stuff until they
Well,
just
you've got a
can't.
couple of guys like Jack Crisp on his team who's played something like 270 odd games in a row. You've got Cal Wilkie who hasn't missed a game since he debuted. So there's always going to be one or two. Sorry, I can hear my dogs. Fucking idiots. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I thought they were getting into the bin. Yeah, so you're always going to have, like you just said, the outliers. And yeah, there'll be someone there that'll come through, and it'll probably be someone we least expect, someone that's been bashed and crashed and, hit around, and then all of a sudden they have a position change and end up playing another 5 years on a wing instead of half forward or full forward. So
Nice.
Yeah.
I guess the other one is, did they miss a trick by not having a statue ready for Pendles to unveil when he actually plays the game? Because the big debate is, will he have a statue? It's like, yes, he's played the most games in the AFL. He's played more games in the MCG than anybody else by a horrifyingly large margin. But at the same time, like, yeah, cool. At the same time, we can just wait until he's super old and everyone's like, I remember Pendles, as opposed to now where he can have his flowers and just like, that's kind of neat.
I think I'd probably wait till he retires. Maybe not when he's 175, but he'll probably still be playing then. But yeah, I reckon I think statues and those sort of honours, I'm happy for them to wait till they've retired. Which, yeah, I mean they've got to wait 5 years to get in the Hall of Fame after they retire. So somewhere within there, if they're worthy of it, and if you've played 500 games, which is probably what he'll end up doing, then you're definitely worthy of the statue. So.
Yeah, he'll be 175 and he still wouldn't have played a game in Kidney Park. So, right. I think, the last one, I just wanted to, I think the worm has now turned. So, sack Voss. Yeah, nah.
Yeah. I think so. I think we said this in, round 4, that he keeps losing the same way. All the results seem to go, and even the ones where they get against Adelaide, they were in the game early, then faded away. Every game so far, they've been in it and faded away, except for probably the Freo game where they did the reverse and nearly came back. So unless he can find out a way to bottle that experience and repeat it, which I don't think he can, I can't see it getting any better for him. So you might as well just cut it off at the neck now and move on.
That's kind of my point.
They're not making finals.
I don't see how it's getting better keeping him, right?
It can only get worse.
Like, I think it just sort of sinks into the mire, gets worse, the culture suffers, because I think you get to a point with a coach where if each week it's, we keep saying this thing, and it just keeps happening. It's like, well, it's clearly not getting through for a specific reason. And I think that specific reason might be you. So, Adam Simpson, like, it's weird. Adam Simpson is like already in the building, is like his mentor. And I'm like, I don't want to have like him do the Doc Rivers, but I do like Adam Simpson. I don't want like John Longmire or anybody. I'm like much more just like Adam Simpson seems like a good fit.
He'd be a good fit for that list, I think. It's like you've got, if you had a list sort of like Richmond, you would need someone probably more like probably a Ken Hinkley. Ken Hinkley wouldn't be a bad. So I think I saw something about the Adelaide 36ers had sounded out Ken Hinkley as a mentor for Mike Wells, and which I thought, I'm always a fan of that type of thing. I think Freo back in the day had the Australian hockey team's coach Rick Charlesworth as a mentor to, I think it was Jared Neesham or one of those guys. But cross-pollination, I guess, of sports it can only be a positive if you got the right people. I'd be all for Ken Hinkley coming on board and I don't want to jump down and cut Brad Scott, but at the same time I do. I'm coming on board at Essendon because I think the way I don't know if you've heard him much, and he only ever seems to be on Port Adelaide games, but he's got I really like and you'd think him being on Port Adelaide games would be shit because he's obviously their coach, but he's very unbiased, and he puts across a really good point of view and explains things in a way that you sort of get from coaches and players that have just come out of the game. I'm sure if he stays in the media for 4 or 5 years, he'll be a flog like the rest of them. But right now, I've been actually really enjoying Ken Hinkley on broadcast. I think he's and you can see why the Port players, when you see him pre-game, go down and they're all hugging up, and you can see there's still a lot of respect for him there. So I think that type of thing with a young group is what you need. So I don't know if I think he'd probably be a better fit than Longmire at Carlton, but I reckon Simpson's your man.
Yeah. Lifelong Blues fan as well. Right. That's some yeah-nahs. That's your awards.
Gotta take that up.